because the fact is not expressly stated, but the fact can only be deduced from what has been stated. So the writer will state something which is not the fact, but you can gather up those things the writer has stated to come to the conclusion or to come to the fact being expressed by the examiner. Let's take a good example. Look at this now. When we got to the spot, we saw an ocean of blood. Neighboring villagers stood near and prayed endlessly for the souls of the departed ones. As rescuers were battling to remove the remains of those who were trapped by the damaged vehicle, we all cried our eyes out. And I said, it can be implied from the passage. It can be implied. So an implied statement is that statement that should be gotten by looking at the pointers the examiner has given before you come to the conclusion, which we call the logical conclusion. It's also called inference. Now, looking at this now, let's break the passage down into pieces and come down to what exactly has happened in the passage. The first paragraph says, when we got to the spot, we saw an ocean of blood. Look at this now, ocean of blood. Neighboring villagers stood near and prayed endlessly for the souls of the departed ones. Souls of the departed. Look at this now. So what do you mean by souls of the departed? Some people have died. Death has taken place. As rescuers were battling to remove the remains. What do you refer to as remains in English language? Remains means what? Dead bodies. Dead what? Bodies. Can you see my pointers now? Remains, dead bodies. Of those who were trapped by the damaged vehicle. Damaged vehicle. We all cried our eyes out. Now look at the pointers that's actually underlined in the passage. And let's come back and read the options. Then I say it can be implied from the passage that A, there was a ghastly accident. Yes, there was an accident because of the damaged vehicle. That's a pointer. But is it a ghastly accident? We'll get there. B, there was a fatal accident. Trust me, there is an accident. So option A and option B should be considered. Number C says there was a traffic congestion. This is an error. It's an error. It's an error. D, there was a ritual killing. From what we have read, does anything suggest a ritual killing? I don't think so. So there was no ritual killing. Now let me quickly give you another hint here. Now at every point in time as a JAMB student, you must have the ability to eliminate 2 options. It is wrong for you to consider 4 options. Now, why is it necessary? In this regard, I will teach you how to eliminate 2 options. Now, the reason why you have to eliminate 2 options and consider only 2 options is because that if you consider 4 options, there's every tendency you might not get the answer correctly. But at the point whereby you are able to limit your options to 2, there is every tendency you might get the answers correctly. So come back to this passage and see. Now, I've been able to eliminate 2 options. Why are the 2 options I've eliminated now? There was a traffic congestion, which is not true, because from what we have read in the passage, there was no logical conclusion from the pointers the examiner has given to suggest that we had a ritual killing or a fatal or a traffic congestion. So I've eliminated these 2 options, option C and option D. They are naturally wrong. Now let's come back to the 2 options you are meant to consider. A, there was a ghastly accident. B, there was a fatal accident. Now, do you know why there is an accident? Look at the question. Who were trapped in the damaged vehicle? So because of that particular choice of words, which is the diction of the examiner, damaged vehicle, trust me, there is an accident. But you now ask yourself a question, what kind of accident? Because in this example now, we have been given 2 types of accident. What are they? A ghastly accident, B, a fatal accident. Ask yourself, what is the difference between a ghastly accident and a fatal accident? Number 1, a fatal accident is that accident that involves death. Number 2, a ghastly accident is that accident that do not involve death. So wherever you hear the word fatal, it means death is involved. Wherever you hear the word ghastly, it means death was not involved. You could have a ghastly accident at home, no death. But once you say fatal accident, trust me, death is involved. And from the passage, what are the pointers that naturally denote that death was involved? Look at the first one, ocean of blood. Trust me, ocean of blood is not a pointer that actually suggests that death was involved. Because there could be an accident and there will be an ocean of blood and nobody dies. Yes, it's possible. But look at the pointers that shows that death was involved. We prayed endlessly for the souls of the departed. souls of the departed, which means some people have died. We now say, rescuers were battling to remove the remains. Remains means what? Dead bodies, or those who have recently died. Now, these 2 pointers are the pointers that has brought us to that logical conclusion that what we had in that particular passage is a fatal accident. So the answer is option B, a fatal accident. Now, if you look at this particular passage, what have we discovered? 2 things we have discovered. Number 1, the examiner did not expressly tell us there was an accident in the passage. But we could deduce from what the writer has stated that there is or there was an accident. And the accident that actually happened in this passage is a fatal accident. This brings us to the end of this lesson. See you in our next